Welcome back to the Force Feed. In today's gaming news, Castle Story comes to Steam Early Access, Dark Souls 2 pre-orders are now available, and Valve introduces the SteamOS. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Force here with your day's gaming news. First up today, Castle Story is currently available via Steam's Early Access. This is a creative, voxel-based real-time strategy game about building a castle and telling a story. In Castle Story, you must build up a castle by collecting resources found on the flying islands where the game takes place. You command little yellow characters called Bricktrons to collect materials, build your castle, and then defend against invading enemies. The game is available now through Steam Early Access for $19.99. Now, I have heard some people say that the current iteration of the game isn't the greatest. It's basically a little bit janky and not super polished, but it is an early access title, and that's the sort of thing that you expect when you buy into these types of games. I would suggest doing a little bit of research before you drop any money on this title. Probably just check out the Steam user forums to get some general consensus as to how people feel who have already made a purchase, but it's an interesting concept. The game looks like it could be a lot of fun based on the screenshots and video footage I've seen so far, so keep your eye on this title if you are at all interested. Next up, some pre-orders are currently available for Dark Souls 2. You're going to be spending a lot of money, but if you're really psyched about this game, it might be worth it for you. The Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition comes with an art book, a 12-inch figurine, and a cloth map of the game's world. Pre-orders are now available via Amazon for $199.99. Now, beyond those extras, you're also going to get the soundtrack as well as a tin case for the game. It's one of those things where if you're really stoked and you're absolutely 100% positive that you're going to buy Dark Souls 2, then sure, drop some money on this pre-order and get yourself some bonus stuff in the process. However, as always, I suggest holding off on pre-orders until we get some opinions and reviews on the game. And same thing goes for, like I mentioned earlier, this early access game in Castle Story. If it's not worth your money right now, you should probably wait until people who have played it give their opinion and then make an informed decision. But I know there are some people out there, and I'm probably included in that list of people, who will buy Dark Souls 2 no matter what, even if the game turns out to be garbage. I'm not saying it will, but hey, it's a possibility. So there you go, pre-orders now available. If you'd like to pick them up, go ahead and do so. Last up in news today, Valve came out with a major announcement, the first of 3 expected this week, and that is the introduction of the Steam operating system, or SteamOS. SteamOS is a Linux-based operating system built with gaming and openness in mind. Beyond achieving significant performance increases in graphics processing, SteamOS also takes advantage of big picture mode and the recently revealed family sharing program. As of this moment, streaming of Windows and Mac games is a focus, although the intention going forward is to move towards more Linux-based gaming. So this news broke earlier today, and I made a video making an announcement because I thought this was something fresh and exciting. I mean, this is potentially a monumental announcement from Valve, but I do think there are a few people who are either misinformed or just confused as to why this is a big deal. So when I made the video, I talked about the fact that the streaming capabilities, the fact that SteamOS will allow you to stream games played on Windows and then the Apple operating system to your TV, to your living room, wherever else you happen to want to play games. But while that streaming focus is a big portion of the selling point at the moment, that's sort of just what they're presenting now. That's not the long tail. That's not their long-term goal. Basically, what Gabe Newell and Valve are trying to do is push Linux gaming. And at the moment, as I'm sure you gamers know, Linux is a very small piece of the pie when it comes to gaming on a computer. Most of that is taken up by PCs, specifically the Windows platform, and then we're seeing a small and growing portion of Apple computers, that OS starting to grow over time. But at the moment, most PC gaming is done through Microsoft Windows operating system. And Gabe Newell has quite expressively gave his opinion of the fact that he is not happy with the direction that Microsoft is taking Windows. Mainly that they're moving towards a more and more closed system and something more focused on tablets. I mean, if you looked at Windows 8, one of the big features of that is like this tablet-looking interface where you're clicking on giant icons of apps. That's not necessarily good for gamers, and a more closed system isn't necessarily good for gamers. So while streaming is the focus now, that is only the case because of the fact that most of PC gaming is done on Windows, but in the future, if a market is there for Linux-based gaming, which is what Valve is hoping to do by introducing the SteamOS, they're hoping to create this market from their giant Steam user base. If that market is there, then more developers may potentially make games for Linux, and that will push gaming on computers towards a Linux focus. That is the long tail. That's why this is exciting. It's going to be more competition. It's a new OS. It's someone to go up against Microsoft. And again, competition is always a good thing for us, the consumer. So there you go. I just wanted to clarify sort of why this is a big deal and why people should be excited for it. It isn't just because of streaming and taking PC games onto your TV, because you can already do that. You've been able to do that for a long time. It's more of their attempt to move towards a Linux focus. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of the show. As always, if you'd like to chime in on any of the topics discussed here today, please go ahead and do so in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. Forced? I can already stream games from my PC to my TV. This is stupid. You just don't get it, do you? Forget it, you're lost.